Good morning. Let's see, where am I getting noise from? All right, I got the stream running now. Brian Lightfoot in Zoom, I've muted you because I thought I had it sufficiently set up so the sound wouldn't come through. Oh, there's my audio test. That was test number 2. And then, oh, I see what I did. Okay, my Zoom audio is set to go to my microphone. Therefore, if you guys talk to each other in Zoom, I'm not hearing you. And so you can be unmuted to talk to each other if you choose. And William Dawson is there in Zoom too. But I'll go ahead and open the show a little bit before we bring them in. Good morning, 11:01 a.m. now. It was 11 a.m. when I started. And this is Saturday, June 17th. 20 people watching. That already have Zoom popped out. So I'll come over to this, not Zoom, chat popped out. Come over here and zoom that in, magnify it. Oh boy, I'm starting to worry about my words today. Watch is going on the table. Cell phone's in the cradle. So somebody sends me a text message about something going wrong with the video, I will be able to hear that. Darren Gilholm, hello. Jeff Ryman, second. Brian Lightfoot says, number 8, please. Number 9 also caught my attention. So that's referring to the topics over here. If I expand this, he said 8 and 9. Discuss 3 client emergencies this week, resulting in Friday's show cancellation. And 9, discuss my idea for community members to earn money. Moolah, give me the money. And there's a text message from Tony. Yep, it gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. Breaking news from Brian Lightfoot. One of Doug's clients had a problem with a mini PC. Of course, a mini Doug was dispatched to solve the problem, and he drove to the client site in a Mini Cooper. You got to laugh out loud on me for that, Brian. And that reminded me about a car that a client of mine was driving, and he was just raving about the car, and it kind of looked like a cross between a VW Bug and a Mini Cooper, and it was a Barth. And when I looked at that car, I did not think that was a fast car, but he said, yeah, it's a very fast car, and that's what he enjoyed about owning the car. So the thought occurred to me, could it be that Doug's next car might be a Mini Cooper or an Abarth, something like that? Yeah, I don't know. I have often, my current philosophy for the last decade and a half has been the Honda Pilots. I've had 2 of them. I think it's 2 of them. Not certain about that. This one's 11 years old and still going strong. I have no reason to replace it, but I'm very attracted to an electric car, but I don't drive enough mileage for it to really pay off. Anyway, moving on. Hello, Bobby Warren, Greg Guy. Hello, chat. Just got up, couldn't fall asleep. Fell asleep 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. When I first read that, I thought, wait a minute, what is it? Couldn't fall asleep, or he did fall asleep? Couldn't fall asleep, but he fell asleep. I guess that's what he means is he couldn't sleep during the night. Jonathan, hello. Black Serendipity, hello. Tony Wallow, hello. Ida Rivera, hello to you. Good to see you. Kind of feel like I haven't seen your name in chat for a little while. Missing you. Tony Wallow, Jonathan, hello. CFWW, hello. Alex Cheek. I vote for number 8 first, he says. Number 8 first. That was the 3 client emergencies this week. All right, we'll bring in the Zoom people before I start on that because that will take a while. People saying hellos to each other. Jonathan also topic 8. Hello from Florida from William Dawson. Jonathan, Bobby, Tim Sal votes for 8. Sounds like 8 is pretty popular. Ran Israel, hello. People saying hellos to each others. William Dawson, topic number 4. What's that one? Paul F. Update regarding access point bridge and router for Caravan mobile home. I just put that in there because I'd like to hear what he wound up doing with that. So I don't have the update. I don't know what he's done about that. And I think last week I had a topic in there of looking for of us going shopping for equipment that we would recommend to him. I don't think we wound up doing that last week. Selden Ball's got 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Bobby to William, I want to be a dish tech. All right. You come out and repair my dishes. I broke one of my large dishes earlier this week. Maybe a dish tech can come out and repair that. Ida also, topic number 8. Bobby, number 8. Tony, AVDVR, good. Selden Ball, Chris Gora, I am 8th one to hit like. That's not topic 8. 8th one to hit the like button. Thank you. Bobby, Jonathan, people saying hellos to each other. I don't see Elevator Doug. Well, Elevator Doug only goes twice. Once he goes down around twice, then it stops. So I have to switch back to a different scene and then come back to this scene and you can see Elevator Doug. Kenny Whitten, hello. Let's Jonathan, John Williams, Darren Gilholm, Chris. Elevator Doug is stuck in an elevator, stuck between floors. He needs to pick elevator phone up and dial 867-5309. I know about that number and ask for Hey Jen. Because we know that's the number for Jenny, but that happens to be the number for Hey Jen as well. Oh, what did I do? I skipped back? Was Bobby's comment about Dish Tech shown earlier? And he's put it in again? I'm not sure. Speedy C, hello. Jonathan Selden Ball, that's 11:04. Okay, looks like I'm fairly caught up. Darren Gilholm, Speedy C. Dennis is here. Buenas tardes desde Panama. I'm going to guess that's good afternoon from Panama. Let's see how closely I got that. Translate, Control V, paste. Good afternoon from Panama. That's exactly what I said, isn't it? I didn't really know the word from, though. I didn't know that's the word for from. Dish Network Tech, I can't fix dishes. Daleks Cheek, Dish Network Satellite TV Tech, Doug, LOL. And Dennis redirected here after my premiere. Oh, thank you, Dennis. Dennis did a premiere and then redirected to here. That message would have popped up in the chat room for a while, but if you're not looking at the screen when that message shows up, there's no evidence left. So I don't get to see any evidence that Dennis did a redirect if I'm not watching the screen when that shows up on the screen. When his premiere ends, and Rick Lakes. Now I see some other things popping up on the other screen, so this is not refreshing. That's 11:08. It's 11:09. Oh, there it just came up. Redirected here. Yeah, so here these just popped in. Rick Lakes, Parker Morris, John Williams, number 9. Thanks. Oh, I need to adjust this microphone. You probably heard that microphone lowering. I might sound closer to the microphone now, maybe a little bit better tone to the microphone when I lowered it like that. Another vote for 8. Rick Lakes, hello. Chris Garrett, he means dish. Yeah, I knew that. Bobby's to Alex, I quit teaching. Jonathan, Krista, Bobby, Dish needs some text with common sense. Let's see, I think we've known Bobby to be working for a news broadcast company somehow and then teaching school. My impression was high school. And I'm trying to remember what, I'm sure you've told us what you're doing. I can't quite remember what you're doing now, Bobby. I remember moving your parents into the house with you and a home theater, and you go through different things with your internet over and over and over. Now, I see in my peripheral vision over here the chat room rolling, but it's not rolling over here. And so it's like I have to do something. And I think the reason for that, that's 1109, is that I've got it back. It's came back into here. Now that happens because I pop out chat, and if I come back and refresh this page, then there'll be a chat in here in addition to the one that's popped out. But if I pop out this again, I think it will keep up with the chat room better. Lawn Dog, okay, I'll be here. I just started to get involved with some late breakfast, but I'm here. V Minor, hello, welcome, good to see you. Dennis, I'm probably going to get another microphone with a boom, number 8, another vote for 8. Oh, I see what happened. I read that one, and then I moved my mouse down to look at the next one, but at the same time, the screen scrolled up, caused me to skip this one, which is chit chat, so I'm not going to read it anyway. Take that. Bobby Warren, I'm looking for a new job. Ah, that's it. Hello, Jonathan. Oh, that's where he's talking about the Dish network. So he's thinking about doing that. He also seems to get new jobs quickly. Well, no, we've only seen him go, from my recollection, from the TV to the teaching job. That seemed to be really quick. Lawn Dog, I'm playing with that Windows 11 machine that I converted from S mode. Everything is working fine, but I have some things to set up on the machine. But as usual, the customer's passwords are an issue, but don't worry, I've got it worked out. I'll probably be going there on Monday to work on this issue. Okay. Yeah, I've thought from time to time, if you're setting up a computer for a client and you know they have a Microsoft account and they're reluctant to give you the password for the Microsoft account, one option is to tell them to change the password for the Microsoft account temporarily so you can set up the new computer, and then they can change it back. And that way you don't wind up knowing their Microsoft password. Now, even if they don't feel a need for that, maybe they trust you, but you might decide that you don't know that person well enough to be willing to have the liability of knowing their password. It's a liability for you to know their password as a computer technician, because if something goes wrong with their account down the road, you may be on the suspect list. Now, I know a lot of my clients' passwords. In many cases, they don't know their own password. They call me when they need to deal with their password. Now, I have to have safeguards in place. What if Doug gets killed or is not available? So there are some safeguards in place for that. I'd like to get better about that, because have I covered everybody in that regard? I'm not certain about that. But the reason why it's a liability to you is if you don't know them real well and down the road something happens on their account, if you know their password, you would be on the suspect list. So if somebody's going to let you have their password and you don't trust them to that level, you should insist they first change the password to something else temporarily. You utilize that and then insist they change it back. And maybe even to the point that you go test it to make sure you no longer have access to their account. So, and then maybe even document that on your invoice if you're invoicing them. If it's if it's a client I didn't trust, I would want to document that. So, because I've had people sue me for really weird things, and I've won, because frivolous lawsuits, judges don't like them. Chris to Bobby, text came out last year to replace coax. They left the old coax, drilled another hole in the floor, and drilled right through a water pipe. Oh no. I've already read that one from Lawn Dog, Parker Morris. Lawn Dog, by the way, Doug, when it comes to mouses, where the me stat is for computer. What? By the way, Doug, when it comes to mouses, where the me stat is for computer, I've been noticing that wants to scroll both on my own desktop and on this new computer, this laptop. Have you been experiencing the same thing? It's like the mouse wants to scroll on its own. The times when I've had my mouse doing something I didn't want it to do is if I accidentally press down on the scroll button. I press down on the scroll wheel and see how my icon changes. That means when I move my mouse up or down, it is functioning like I'm rolling the scroll wheel. So I got to press down the mouse button again. Now I can move my mouse up and down the screen, and I can use the scroll wheel as I expect for it to work. Now, I'm not sure I understood his message very well. And then he says down here, no, Doug, that's not the problem. I have full access and trust to their passwords. They just scribble them down for all the things they've signed up for, and they are a mess. I'm glad you are explaining this to the audience. It's good for them to know, and you're right. I don't necessarily want the responsibility of their passwords. By the way, the customer I'm working with is a long time, good customer and friend, but I would do everything you just said in a normal circumstance. Yeah, like I said, I do have, and I am the keeper of passwords for large majority of my clients. And mainly that's because they just want to get their work done. And I have, well, I told you the story not too long ago about the client office that I fired. The most senior person there contacted me when he was having password troubles. I said, I told him, you need to develop a way for you to keep track of your passwords. It's like knocking my head against the wall. Ugh, I got to get over to the Zoom session. Did I skip somebody? So I guess I responded about the mouse. All they do is pull up the new wire, the old hole with the old wire. The old wire is still there. Maybe that's good. I can use it to pull a new Ethernet through. Bobby to Chris. Spectrum had a new wire last week. Lawn Dog, by the way, just jumped on me. By the way, no, I read that. I have my doubts the old wire was bad. Don't know how it could go bad. Oh, wires do go bad over time. They'll get stiff and brittle in there, or even I don't know what's going on, but I've had plenty of times where I've replaced wires and has solved the problem, even wires that aren't very old. So I can't explain, on a molecular level what's really going wrong with the wires, but I'm convinced wires do go bad. Mice. Yeah, I think that was one of the words that Lawn Dog did a voice recognition in there, and the word didn't translate into the chat correctly. Bobby Warren, Chris, I will take the water. I already read that. Chris, to me and Bobby, I call those two dish techs the wet bandits. My front yard was flooded. Okay, various things in my imagination about that. I call the two bozos that delivered a stove Dumb and Dumber. Okay. Bobby to Chris, they had to go into my attic. And hellos to people. Chris Garrett, two bozos from the Home Depot drove away and turned around with a ramp down on the truck. Two bozos from Home Depot. One drove away to turn around with a ramp down on the truck. All right, I think I got that now. Roy Carr, hello, William. My power went out last night while we were talking. Oh, I don't have timestamps. Where? I promise, Zoom, I'm trying to get over to you. Doug, the comment about the wireless mouse is working about the wireless mouse working is more in relation to it being a little bit erratic. Like if you have a bad driver or a bad mouse, anyways, it's not important. I think he was talking about the mouse built into the laptop. If it's an external mouse, if it's wireless, of course, batteries and how good of a signal you have. Is there anything else that might be interfering with the transceiver? Move the transceiver to a different USB port. I've seen certain USB ports won't work, particularly because USB ports are shared. Two USB ports typically share the same connector on the motherboard, or the same circuitry on the motherboard. So moving to a different location, getting a transceiver an extension, a USB extension to put the transceiver up on top of the desk. Let's see, swap batteries. In some environments, cleaning the mouse. And if it's the mouse pad actually built into a laptop, then mouse pads can get a lot of finger oils gunked onto them. So maybe I would take a glass cleaning solution for glasses, not Windex, and clean it with a microfiber cloth. What's more important is my impressions of Windows. Oh, by the way, this thing about it's not important. No, any questions about computer usability is important here. I don't care if you're not too concerned about it. I want questions, please. What's more important is my impressions of Windows 11. I'm still not happy with it. I believe it takes more mouse clicks and hunting to get something done. Yeah, I've been kind of more focusing lately. Instead of trying to readapt the workarounds that or the techniques that I knew for Windows 10 that don't work in Windows 11, is I've kind of given up and drunk the Kool-Aid and said, okay, I'm going to go figure out how does Windows 11 want me to do this? What is the Windows 11 efficient ways to do it? I don't like having to do that. I'm annoyed with having to do that, but Windows 11 is going to be a big part of my future in the next few years. So I just decided, you know what, it's best for me, for my sanity, to go figure out what are the Windows 11 methods to getting to what I want. Chris Garrett, could have been static buildup from lightning. I wish the dish was not ground. I found the dish. Why did I say I wish? I think I was reading the word dish into here. I found the dish was not grounded. So that was the satellite dish, I think we're talking about. John had a RG5 wire go bad last week. Long dog, but on a positive note, the new chat being something that I'm interested. I see it now. YouTube, like Windows 11, YouTube changes the way things work, and it becomes a nuisance. When I try to highlight this or click on any message, I get this pop-up menu on the right. I would rather, and this is something I pointed out to Ken Stout a while ago. It seems like it used to be you had to click on the three dots, but now click anywhere and you get that menu. I got to click down here to get rid of it, but then now if I float the mouse up here, it kind of highlights in gray. You know, that's not me dragging across it, but you can see which one I'm looking at. All right. But on a positive note, the new chat being something that I'm interested in, I'm really exploring its use on Windows 11. That would be one positive thing to make me want to go in that direction in the future. Ken is listening while driving home. There, it jumped on me again. How far did it jump? See, all of this screen is new. There, up, scroll up one line, and I see the line that I was just looking at. Bobby to Chris, I will be a professional dish tech, dishing it out to people. No, I'm talking about external wireless mouse. Okay, so I made my comments about wireless mouse. And I have issues occasionally with this one. And usually it's that I need to plug it in to recharge it because it's a rechargeable. I can't replace the batteries. So yeah, recharging it, getting it closer to the transceiver. I have an extension. I can't get this over far enough for you to see it. Why can I not? All right. Ugh, it won't go far enough. Oh, there it is. See, that's an extension, and this is the transceiver. So it won't work. If I have that plugged into Big Beast Build, which is just back there, it does not work well enough. So I've got like a 25-foot extension coming out here. Doug, you're taking too long to get to Zoom. Yes, I know that, Doug. Talking about external. During the pandemic, these companies hired anyone from Chris. Lawn Dog, well, that's a good comment to make about wireless transmission. I am swimming in wireless mouses. What is the multiple of multiple mouses? Mouses. Well, I like that. Mouses. Mice. I saw mice. No, you can't say I saw a mice. You have to say I saw a mouse running across the floor. Mice is, I think, the technically correct plural. I am swimming in wireless mice. Yeah, but then I'm kind of tempted to say I'm swimming in wireless mices. No, that doesn't sound right. Yep, I've tinkered that to meaning the mouse pad. I'm still exploring this odd behavior, but I like your suggestions. Now, there's a good point. I had this mouse. I can move the mouse here because it's not connected. It's specifically a gaming mouse. It's a little bit expensive, but I use it on this. Oh, here. Ouch. I shouldn't stretch like that. Oh, that camera isn't even connected to anything. Is this even a worthwhile diversion? There's an extension. That'll plug into. Yeah, this is something I found interesting. All right. Now I got to fix the lighting. Clicking to automatic exposure and then remove automatic exposure, remove automatic focus, so those don't keep happening. So this mouse works well on this mouse pad. It does not work well on the desk surface. It does work, but not well. Works much better on this pad. This mouse works, it's a wireless mouse. I don't have it connected right now. It works well on the desk, but it won't work at all on this pad. And these both are optical mice. I almost tried to say meese. So I have found that different mice, even though they're optical, have different functional preferences. And I haven't looked into the details of why that is. All right, I'm gonna go bring the Zoom people in. I gotta highlight where I was at. Then bring chat. Yeah, there's several people here. So get ready in the chat room. I'm about to bring you in. You will need to mute your YouTube audio. I will start by turning on my microphone in Zoom. So you should be able to hear me through Zoom now. And then, let's see, turn on my camera in Zoom and switch the speaker output for Zoom to be same as system so that I can hear you guys, and then bring Zoom up on screen. So hello, do you guys hear me in Zoom?
Loud and clear.
Ah, there it is.
Hello, Doug.
Hello,
You're 30
Alex.
minutes late.
Huh? Say again?
You're 30 minutes late.
I'm 30 minutes late bringing Zoom. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That was way too long. I'm sorry to keep you guys in there so long. That was really not a good choice. Alex, do you have any topics to bring to us today?
Not really, except for I've got a guy that said he was gonna call me today, and maybe bring 3 laptops by for me to work on.
Yes, I guess I must have heard you say that on Ken Stout's show last night, which I have not um, listened, watched through all of last night's show, but I think I heard you saying that, and yeah, I'm eager to see how that goes for you.
So
Okay,
far, he's a no call, no show today.
all right. Is that like through your church contacts or something, or was that
No,
random?
it's just some random guy that uh contacted me on Facebook
Oh,
about it.
okay. So you don't already know him. All right.
I do not.
Okay. Hello, Jim. Do you have any topics to bring to the table?
I'm just here in case we get to number 6.
Number 6. Okay. And I'm going to assume that was the one that I put in there about the NAS experiments that you've been doing.
Yes.
Yeah, great, great. Let's see. Then I got on my Mini Brian. It's your Zoom name. Hello, Brian.
Hello,
Do
Doug.
you have any
Hello, Mini
topics?
Dougs.
Yeah. Do you have any topics to bring?
Well, I'm here to watch number 8. I'd like
Number
to.
8. Okay. Well, there's been a lot of requests for that, so I think we'll be going on to that first. And then William Dawson, do you have a good morning?
Good morning.
And do you have any topics?
Not today. It's just
All right.
how it goes.
All right.
But interesting.
Very good. Then actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away just for a moment, turn the air conditioner on. It's getting hot in here. This is Fresno, and it's June. I almost stepped away while Alex was talking because I can still hear when I walk away, but you guys can't hear me. I thought that would be rude to just get up and walk away. I want to, let's see, where was I at here? Geez, I don't know. All right, I'm going to just go for the orange ones now. And kind of scan over. And John Williams, I meant RJ5. He's RG5, right? It's not RJ.
For coaxial cable, it's RG, I believe.
Yeah.
It's RG6 is the.
Yeah, Ethernet we use Cat5.
Mm.
But when we use the word cat, do we use? Well, RGA just doesn't fit right to me.
I think the connectors are referred to as an RJ45 connector.
That's it. RJ45. That's where RJ is correct. In the latest version of Windows 11, I found the chat being icon is very easily accessible. I've been asking a lot of complicated questions. Alex says that is if Windows 12 doesn't come out in 2 years, Windows 11 is the new Windows 8.0 and Vista. I'm not as off put by Windows 11 as
Notice I didn't say 8 point. Notice I didn't say just the number 8.
That's right.
8.1. I said 8.0.
Right. So you're saying Windows 11 is so bad that it's comparable to 8.0 and you prefer 8.1?
No, nothing is as bad as 8.0.
I say that 8.1 is far worse than Windows 11. I don't like 8.1 even. It was better than 8.0, but okay, I'm going to go look for oranges. And then Alex says, I agree, too long in the words of Jim. Get on with it. Moving on. I think I've got it all. Yeah, so I've got all the oranges. So you need to start hitting me an orange if you want me to see it. Now I'll go on to topic number 8 because that was clearly the most popularly requested. Yay. 3 client emergencies. So the way that I'm going to recount this. I'll do one at a time. It's going to take a little while to get through them because they aren't quick and easy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe it in the way that it appeared to me, the way the symptoms appeared to me, and give you chance in chat or in Zoom to say what you think it is at that point. Not that you're responsible to get it right because you don't have all the information. However, the first one, the one that we're going to start with, it is possible for somebody to get it right from the beginning, and I did not. I'll put that right out front. And part of this first story is going to be a lesson or letting you know how do I deal with situations where at the end I realized that I should have caught that earlier, and it would have cost my client less. Now, because I just said that, I'm telling you that I go ahead and charge them for the time that I spent, even though I should have got it earlier. I know some people don't follow that practice, but I will explain why I follow that practice and why I think it's been good for my business, good for my clients. And I don't conceal from them my opinion that I should have caught it earlier or I could have caught it earlier. So that strategy on my part might be surprising to some people. Okay, so I'm not going to show you these time slips because I don't have them sufficiently protected as far as who my clients are. This one came in on Wednesday, a phone call 10:11 a.m. and the time slip here is 10:11 to 10:50. Phone and remote support regarding multiple computers in office have had uncommanded exits of Practice Master, Outlook, and WordPerfect this morning. Reported that the caller reported that the server and all workstations were restarted and the symptom still occurs. I checked logs on the caller's computer, finding indications causing me to suspect that Windows updates that automatically installed last night, this was on Wednesday. This last Tuesday was update Tuesday. Suspect that Windows updates that automatically installed last night may be the cause of the trouble, uninstalled the updates and restarted the caller's computer. Advised the caller to report how the computer functions and let me know so I can repeat the procedure on the other computers if this solves the issue. So all the computers in their office having the same problem, uncommanded program exits of those 3 different programs that I described. And my theory at that point in time was, how could this be happening on all of their computers but not be such a broad experience across the world that I would have heard about it? And I'm thinking, well, they all have some various software programs and various configurations that are a little bit unusual because they're using some obsolete software. They have a networked copy machine and scanner. I was thinking, well, that could be what's going on. It just seemed unlikely, but what was happening is those 3 programs I mentioned, they would be working in them or they would be away from their computer and they would just exit, just close, no error message. Okay, so in chat room or in Zoom, anybody want to take a stab at what's going on there or what you would be looking at next?
What 3 programs was it again?
Okay, coming back to that, it was WordPerfect, Practice Master, which is a law office calendaring program, and their edition of it is over 20 years old because this is one of those programs where you used to just buy the program and then use it, and you didn't have to re-buy it again until you wanted a substantially updated version. Well, this is one of those programs that have switched to be a subscription. So rather than subscribing to the new computer, the new version, they said, this one's working fine for us. Well, this was over 20 years old. So I was thinking, that's a really unusual configuration. And they were having a problem with Practice Master and WordPerfect, which was also an old version, and Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. So they would be open working in emails and would just close.
So did they always have all three of those programs open on all the computers at the same time when it happened, or is it?
No. No. So we do, and I didn't know that at that time, and that's a question that I asked them, and the conclusion was no. That and going through the rest of the day, I guess I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag. They called back a few minutes later, and the problem had happened again. So reverting on that computer, that one computer that I rolled back the update, it still had the same problem. Okay, I'm going to go over and check on chat, see if anyone's coming up with it. And you need to hit me in orange so that I can see that. And I don't see any answers there. So I'm going to go back and continue with, I'll look at the next time slip for them. That one ended at 10:50 a.m. and the next time slip for them is 11 a.m. So it was 10 minutes later. Same person calling me. Phone and remote support. Symptom occurred again with Practice Master exiting while the caller was away from the computer. So she had opened Practice Master, walked away from the computer, come back, and it was closed. An error message was on the screen but not captured. In this case, attempted to reproduce the symptom without success, began recording of the caller's screen. So I was connected remotely to a computer and I started recording an XSplit to record what's going on because I didn't want to just sit and watch. I just wanted her to return to do her work. And when it happens again, I wanted her to call me. So began recording of the caller's screen and advise her to call me when it happens again so I can see the symptom via the recording. That time slip was 11 o'clock to 11:10 a.m. And I actually I typed out that time slip. I'm seeing a little error here in my time slips because that one was 11 a.m. to 11:10 a.m. The next time slip is 11 a.m. to 12:15 a.m. So I double billed them for 10 minutes. I'm just going to go correct that now. And the reason for that is because I typed out that time slip while I still was watching the screen. And before I turned to other things, it crashed. It exited. Practice Master exited while I was watching. So my time slip that now reads 11:10 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Practice Master crashed again. Oh, I see what I did here. Oh, yeah, I got the same thing. I just, well, actually, I duplicated. So this time slip now is intended to just be one time slip because I said set up screen recording to capture an instance of the crash. So what I need to do is delete that first time slip. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Okay,
I just had a random idea come into my head.
Yeah.
This may be completely off the wall, but you said that Practice Master was 20 years ago, a
Right.
20-year-old piece of software. And of course, 20 years ago, they didn't have 64-bit versions of Windows, only 32-bit versions of Windows. And so could it be because the computer is a 64-bit instead of a 32-bit, even though you can install 32-bit programs on a x64 based computer, it's still that particular program doesn't like it because it's not an actual 32-bit install.
My thoughts were along those lines. That is not what it turned out to be, but that's a fair suspicion. And although I wasn't thinking the 64 32-bit, I was simply thinking that it's an older program designed differently than programs are designed today. And with all the Windows updates and evolutions that Windows has gone through, is it still able to support such obsolete programs very well. Of course, DOS-based programs don't get along well with Windows 10. You can make them work, jumping through some hoops. But so I'll fair idea, Alex. That is not what the problem winds up being determined to be.
Doug,
So,
I've got
yeah.
one quick question. On the machine that you rolled back the update on, that one continued to have a uncommanded exit, correct?
Right.
So we can rule out the update on it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if the customer typically has left out one little bit of information like, oh, we forgot to tell you that we installed another program or we installed a new piece of hardware.
That's a fair point. I often find that is the case, that they have forgotten to tell me something, not only forgotten to tell me something, but even forgot that they did something. And sometimes when I find the actual solution, they might say, oh, well, could it be that because I did this back here, that totally forget it about it, didn't even think about what they had done until I actually find what the trouble is, and somehow that creates an association for them. There is a little piece of relevant truth to that here, meaning there was a point that they might have been aware of at that time that they didn't tell me about, but I'm guessing they didn't realize this connection. I don't want to tell you this connection yet, because that just kind of spoils the experience, but this is what I know at this point in the experience. So now this time slip that went from the now shows 11 a.m. to 12:15, so an hour 15. The setup screen recording to capture an instance of the crash. This was successful in a few minutes while I was actually watching. Review of records for Practice Master revealed this program version is over 20 years old, so there is no support available. Called another person in the office and discussed her experiences with the issue and connected to her computer. Discovered pending updates were requiring another restart. So that computer was actually had a prompt for restart for installing updates when they had already told me they had restarted all of the computers in the office. So I don't know how they restarted her computer and didn't get the updates installed. Maybe the updates hadn't been triggered to download yet. Because remember, this was on Wednesday. It's been my experience that even though Update Tuesday is typically on a Tuesday, some computers don't get the updates or don't get prompted for restart until the next day, or even I've seen it on Thursdays. Requested the user to use Outlook and WordPerfect without ever opening Practice Master in order to identify if the trouble is originating with Practice Master. Because this is at the point where, hey, I just discovered it's over 20 years old.